to guyswithrides.com, the only dealer-free online community for collector car enthusiasts. My mission with guyswithrides.com is to do things a bit differently in the collector car hobby. As the sheer number of online collector car auctions continues to grow, particularly during this year of COVID-19, I'm fascinated by how few actually offer pre-purchase inspections, and even more troubling is that potential bidders do not demand them from the owners of these cars or the auction houses that are offering these cars. Yes, it's caveat emptor, but it's one thing to go look at an auction, traditional auction, and look at the car or have an inspector physically look at the car. It's a whole other concept when you first find out about a car on Monday and you only have 7 days before the auction ends. That doesn't leave much time to schedule a PPI, pre-purchase inspection, and get the report back. On guyswithrides.com, the reserve parking inspection is our car listing service. On Monday, October 5th, we're announcing some changes to that service, and one of those is the announcement of our partnership with LemonSquad.com, a wrench company. If you're not familiar with that service, it is a pre-purchase inspection company with a nationwide network of certified mechanics who will go and do a classic car inspection for a fee. We've negotiated with Lemon Squad for a discounted fee, and we're going to have more details about that early next week. The important takeaway from this video is the first car that will be offered on reserve parking next week is our project car, the 1984 Cadillac Eldorado Biarritz hardtop that, if you've been following the channel, I've been working on over the past year. It's a very pretty car. I get a lot of compliments of it, and with only 43,000 original miles, it is very original condition. However, it's far from perfect. So while the pictures and some of the video I've been showing tends to show a very nicely preserved survivor car, I'm going to show you in full transparency some of the flaws the car still has and will need to be worked on. That's part of the fun of owning a collector car. So I recorded Steve, a Lemon Squad mechanic who came to my house, inspected my car, drove the Cadillac, and then the following day I received his detailed report. When I go to list this car on reserve parking on Monday, October 5th, the report in all its glory and all 230 pictures will be there for potential buyers to look at and know what they're getting into with this car. I think it's a great car, and it'll be a fun project for somebody to take over. So let's take a look. All right, the truck you see in the background is Steve, and he's parking to. The beauty of this is a PPI. Steve can show up. Why don't you give me an overview of what you're going to do, Steve?
We're just going to look over the vehicle in general, take some pictures of it, check the paint for any kind of damage or repairs, look the engine over, scan the computer, just check the vehicle out.
The first thing Steve's doing is he has a very expensive paint gauge, and he went around the car at various points, typically one place on each panel, and measured the thickness of the paint. You'll note he's using just a camera phone to take the indication, and all of those pictures became part of the report, his detailed report the following day. What Steve is doing here is he's verifying the tires are not too old, and he's got a tire gauge to make sure that the tread is good. In my case, the tires are only a year old. I replaced 21-year-old tires when I bought the car. Steve went through and took a number of pictures of the interior, the exterior. He goes through and verifies that all of the options are working, and if not, I explain to him what is and what isn't working. While I don't show it here, he's looking at the door jamb. Everything's fine there. So I hope you're noticing just the amount of pictures he's taking. Now there is some surface rust on the bottom of the doors, and you'll see that in the detailed report. Here he's started the car and did a detailed inspection under hood. So not only did he take some pictures, he asked me a few questions. So if you're familiar with the car, I recently, over the summer, I rebuilt the air conditioning system. You'll see a picture in the report where he verified that the air conditioning is still working well. Interestingly, when he took the air cleaner off, he asked if I replaced the injectors on the fuel injection system, which I have not. The car does start very well. He noticed that I had replaced all the belts. Again, more pictures as the car's running, and he's checking the oil. And he noted it was about a quart low as I'm about to change the oil on it. It's due for its annual oil change. All right, so after checking all of the various options and making his notes, we went for a quick drive. So when you take it for a ride, what are you typically looking for?
Abnormal noises, vibrations, anything out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm.
Rattles. See how it stops, steers, overall.
Okay.
Pulsations, any kind of pulling which got misfiring, make sure the engine has power, it shifts correctly.
This didn't have power when it was new. You cover everything from Pittsburgh to
Ohio border, Jersey Shore, and Maryland, and I do all of upstate New York too, and New York City.
wow, that's quite a territory.
It's busy, keeps you busy. I do probably about 5 of these a week.
Okay. What's your background that qualifies you?
25-year ASE Master Repair Technician, and I'm a certified vehicle estimator.
Excellent. All right, so once we did the drive, I brought it back to the garage. Now, normally he has a floor jack, and we'll just do it outside, lift the car up the old school way with a floor jack, but I did offer my 4-post lift, partly because I wanted better detailed pictures for this car to really show you what's underneath on here. Now, what you're going to see is it's surface rust, and he notes that. There is a rust on the brake lines and gas line, but that's from the prior owner leaving this out on a damp ground. The following day, I received this report that I will be posting as part of the reserve parking offering for this car next week. So he noted that the CV joint boots are leaking oil, and I need to look at changing those. Noted the surface rust underneath the car, but that was not a concern of his. And so, as you can see, if you look underneath the car, if you're not from the Northeast, this may be a little scary to you, but this is well within the regular tolerances of it, and quite frankly would clean up if I was keeping the car. But there you see the leaking fluid that otherwise you would not notice in a typical auction setting unless you had this. But you can see the oil from the one CV joint is actually spreading on the tire. I doubt on an online auction, unless the seller provided that information, you would see that without having a pre-purchase inspection. So there you have it. That's what a typical pre-purchase inspection should look like. Very detailed and leaves very little, if anything, to chance when you're buying a car online. Hopefully you see the value of a pre-purchase inspection. And if you're considering a car on any auction site, I don't care if it's Bring a Trailer, eBay, whatever, that you'll consider getting a pre-purchase inspection before you bid. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to the Guys with Rides YouTube channel, and be sure to check out our website, guyswithrides.com, where we provide updated content 6 days a week. Thanks, and have a great day.